Set? Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Friends and Family Meetup. My name is Vivian Cassandra. I am dialing in from San Diego, California. It's beautiful, 64 degrees Fahrenheit here, sunny and a little bit breezy. Well, let me begin with my journey. This month in April, we are honoring mental health wellness. As everyone knows, it has been a challenging time for most of us, or we know people who has gone through this journey of mental health. It's whether it's indirectly or directly. I myself have gone through this mental health wellness journey. I had issues of being overly excited, and especially because I'm living on my own with my animals. I'm a rescue, and I always have this fear of if something happens, and there's always like what if, and it has affected me greatly and in my daily lives, and always have that worries of whether I will be able to do what I have to do in terms of the taking care of my animals, and in order to feed them and giving them food and shelter. So with me today, I have my dearest co-host that will be sharing their mental health wellness journey. They have, it's all from a different angle in their lives that they are, the journey that they're going through right now. So they are very so open, listen to what they have to say, and cry or be emotional. It's up to you, okay? But just listen to what I ask is listen with your heart and with an open mind. And for those who are here on an invite, please get back to the person that invited you on this call. And if you have any questions, get back to the person. Of course, get back to the person that has invited you, or you can reach out to any one of us. We can, help you along with the journey. So for a start, I would like to invite, this is my co-host that will be presenting their journey. It'll be Elle, Soraya, Melanie, then we have David, Kim, Barbara, Eileen, and then Lillian and Phil. So take it away, Elle.
Hi, my name is Elle, and I currently live in Northern Alabama. After 20 years of owning my own dog grooming, training, and boarding business, I was fed up and burnt out with the 12-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week grind. During weekends and holidays, rather than having fun and enjoying family time, I was always working. At the end of each day, I was physically and emotionally drained, exhausted, short-tempered, cranky, and burnt out. My sister-in-law actually told me that my life sucked, and my spouse said that I was not the person that he married. I had no life other than work. I had reached a point where I sometimes wished I just wouldn't wake up. When I came across this business, I knew in my heart I had to seize the opportunity. After listening to the ABC primetime video, everything about the product and the business resonated with me. I didn't even try the product before becoming a distributor. I just jumped right in because I was so desperate for a change. After 4 months of being on the Synergizers, I am calmer, happier, I sleep more soundly, I am less anxious about my job, and I actually enjoy getting out of bed and starting my day. My husband says he is thrilled to have his happy, fun-loving wife back. I am so grateful to have been presented this awesome opportunity. This truly is an innovative and life-changing technology that is only going to explode over the next decade. LifeVantage has given me the freedom to reduce my hours, and eventually I will be able to pursue my new career full-time. I look forward to the future, working with this amazing community and bringing joy and abundance to everyone and every pet, and making the world a healthier place. So thank you for letting me share.
Thank you, Lisa. My name is Soraya, and I am out here in Arizona, and I'm grateful that I have this opportunity to share just a little piece of my story with you guys. So I've had 3 severe brain injuries. With those brain injuries, my moods were all over the place. One moment I was fine, the next moment I was not. There was a lot of yelling, a lot of screaming. There was a lot of times where I would just start throwing things. I would destroy a room, and I could see myself doing it, but I couldn't stop. I really thought I was going a little crazy, to be really honest. I finally got help. I started seeing my chiropractor. We started working on my head injuries, and but with those head injuries, before any of this was brought into my life, I still struggled with putting sentences together. I still, I couldn't even make simple decisions, simple yes and no decisions. I couldn't formulate sentences very well. I also became very self-conscious because I would randomly fall asleep in the middle of conversations with people, with just strangers even sometimes. So a lot of times I started finding myself, I didn't want to go out in public. I didn't know if I was going to be able to stay focused on the conversation or be able to contribute to the conversation. And sadly, some of that still affects me today. I continue to work through it. But a lot of times I felt like I was living in a glass box. Like I could see my life on the other side of the glass box, but I never could reach the other side. And it was a grieving process for me. But I will tell you that when these products, I started working on my 3rd head trauma because I was sleeping 20 hours a day with 2 small kids at home. It was pretty rough. And after 2 years of doing tests and blood work, we found nothing. There was nothing wrong. We couldn't find anything wrong. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes you just want to find something wrong so you don't think that you're losing your mind. But there was nothing. My chiropractor was introduced to these amazing products, who in turn introduced him to me at 9 o'clock at night with a phone call, and forever changed my life. 3 days after starting on our nootropic and our first activator, because that's all we had at the time, literally changed my life in 3 days. I was not sleeping during the day. I was awake, normal hours. But the best part, when we introduced our other 2 activators and I started stacking the 3 together, huge difference in my life. I ended up graduating with my college degree. And oftentimes me and my chiropractor would sit and have these conversations. Thank you. And he even said, Soraya, can you believe that you actually graduated with your degree? Can you believe you did that? And I mean, it was the hardest thing I ever did. It was a struggle. Every week I was calling my sister to interpret my lesson plans for me and slowly help me walk through what they were asking me, because until I started stacking those 3 products, I was not able to do it on my own. It was too overwhelming for my head. It fatigued it. It made it so tired. Neuro fatigue was huge. So, but once I started stacking, she didn't have to help me anymore. I was able to put everything together and interpret my lessons, and my anxiety went way down. So thank you so much for letting me take this time to share this experience with you guys.
David, you're next.
Oh, thank you for this opportunity to be able to share. Well, I've been in LifeVantage since September of 2015. And I was introduced to this by some friends that were concerned for my well-being. And I saw that ABC primetime video. I was a little reluctant to actually really watch it, but once I saw it, I grasped it. Part of the reason is because I have a background in nursing. I've been through nursing school and gone through some education classes, and I learned about oxidative stress while I was in nursing school. So I knew the science was there, but trying the products wasn't also convincing, very convincing. I got on Axio. It's been the best thing that I've ever, as far as an energy drink. It opens up your mind. It helps you to focus and concentrate. I was a truck driver and I tried energy drinks, all kinds of them, and I'd get the crashes and I'd get the palpitations in my heart from being on those. Especially when I was driving at night, that was something that helped me keep awake. But I tried 5-hour energy shots and it just didn't work very well for me. But this Axio is wonderful to help with your focus and concentration and energy. I take it first thing in the morning, and then if I need it in the afternoon, I take it again. It gives me such a good feeling being able to take it. But LifeVantage also has been a great journey for me because it's helped me to develop more confidence and training in myself. In fact, we just went through some training here within the last couple of weeks with Ascend, and some of the things that I've learned there were pretty powerful. LifeVantage, it's about making a change in your life, whether it's your health, whether it's your mindset, your confidence. One of the things that I experienced during this last training was reliving some of those things that are buried in my life, going through abuse. But this helped open my heart. I came across to a point where I said a word that it didn't really, I was surprised it actually came out, and it was the word loser. And I was grateful for Deb to help me to resolve that. She came up with this mantra and showed how to be able to eliminate that in my life. Loser leaves me easily. Loser leaves me fast. Loser avoids my energy. When loser leaves, it lasts. Confidence comes to me easily. Confidence comes to me fast. Confidence loves my energy. When confidence comes, it lasts. This is the type of training that is transforming my life and helping me to be a better individual and person. Some of the things that I came to realize in this training is that I can release any negative thought and feeling in my life. I can receive any positive thoughts and feelings in my life. And I can change my energy quickly. I can change my conflicting values each and every day. And I choose to change daily. I am 100% responsible and accountable for my thoughts and feelings. The outlook that I have now is that as I change my energy daily, I will affect the people around me in my business and also in my personal life. So I hope this has been something that'll help resonate with you, because change is possible. There is hope. And LifeVantage is one of the vehicles that's bringing me confidence and courage in my life. Thank you for the time.
Oh, thank you, David. That is a hard act to follow, and I'm going to get control of my emotions. Thank you so much. We love you dearly. I had a devastating diagnosis at the age of 17, and now 38 years later, you know, the physical and the mental health journey that I've been on has definitely took a toll on me. I wasn't like other people, and especially young people. I'm sorry. You know, I couldn't do things that other people could do physically. I couldn't wear high heels. I couldn't be out late. I couldn't move like other people, and I certainly couldn't think like other people. And you don't compare yourself, but at that point in your life, it's different, right? But even as I went through this journey, every task was really difficult. Just basic things, you know, basic things like walking to my car or driving or taking a shower. So we'll spare the other gory details. But when my children were getting older, that would be back in 2013, I remember asking God, what am I going to do when they leave me? Because they're what I did. And I really didn't want to do it anymore. I really didn't. It was just too hard. And lo and behold, 5 months later, God answered my prayers by sending an angel into my life. Her name is Monica. She picked up the phone and she shared with me hope. She shared with me the opportunity and shared with me an ABC primetime investigative report. And that just changed everything. And thank God she had the courage to pick up the phone and call me, because life today is amazing. So the kids are gone, and I miss them, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine with them being gone. I can pretty much do everything. And when they come home, I'm glad to see them, but when they come for a long period of time, I realize that I don't miss the mess and I don't miss the doing that I used to have. So today I think clearly, I have value and passion, and I enjoy life to the max. And today I'm able to share this gift with the world. I wake up every day with a spring in my step. Who can I help today? Who can I help today? Who can I help today? It feels so good to be able to be my best self again, to be independent and to be able to share this gift with the world, and to actually have my own business that I do on my time, because believe me, I don't want to go back to what I was doing, when I first graduated from college. No, thank you. So it feels good to feel good, and it feels even better to help others. And I'm like that Energizer bunny with the drum. I'm just going. I outlast everybody, and I'm in control. My body is in control, and it feels really good to be in control. So thanks for letting me share, and thanks for putting up with the tears. You know what? The only other thing I want to say is that my loved ones are thankful too, because there's a lot of great people in my life, and they so appreciate that I'm a part of their lives.
Oh my gosh, this is all so hard to follow. And what I want to say here, I'm now going to start crying, because I really feel like Light Vantage saved my life. It really did. This business model really saved my life, because I went through an experience, a very, very big tragedy in my life. And even now I have continuous trauma situations going on that I cannot control, but that I have to live through and go on with. And, having corporate jobs and working for other people was really hard. After this tragedy, it's like, okay, you got a couple of days off. You're supposed to act normal and just go on and be happy and take care of customers and clients. And when you've gone through things like that, I never knew any kind of trauma or grief of that, any kind of magnitude. But this business model, just like we're on here tonight, when I started, we didn't have Zoom and the internet. Actually, we did things by calling. And, just listening to all the positive people. You know, this business is about growing as a person, and we often say it's a personal growth business disguised as a product business. You know, sometimes that was my lifeline for the day, because I might have, you know, had a lot of struggles during the day at work. And the thing is too, I know that I own my business. I'm not going to be fired from my business. If I'm being triggered or I have a hard day, you know, I can manage my day different. I can maybe work on social media or do some other kind of things, because sometimes I just can't pick up the phone. I'm just having trauma responses. I mean, that's part of life that's happened that no one really talks about. But, you know, not all companies are created the same. And I looked hard at this company knowing I needed a community and a culture and, you know, not an aggressive, competitive type of environment. And look at us all today from all different communities in our business working together as one. Collaboration is really a huge value and core value for me. And, you know, I have choices in my day. People are here for me in corporate. People are ready to stomp you down. They want your job. People want to raise you up. People are there for you. And, you know, the skills that I'm doing to do my business, just like David said, there's skills that are helping me as a person. And then I get to help other people. And that feels so good, just as Kim was saying. So I just love this. And again, I'm just going to say this, it's really saved my life. Thank you.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So I could ditto Kim's story from my life journey, but I'm going to share a mental health story for my daughter. So my daughter, she had a diagnosis young as a child, and she had all these extreme fears. I mean, fear of the wind, fear of the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, people in masks, loud sounds. She was very lethargic. She was very recluse and very quiet. She didn't stand up for herself. She was like a puppet. She would she know what the rules were, but she wouldn't fall. She didn't instigate them if she was asked to break the rules. And I just thought it was part of her diagnosis, and that's just the way life was. And what occurred for us, Soraya, I have the same chiropractor. He also wanted me to get on the products right away with my daughter and myself. And what happened next, I never would have predicted, because my daughter was 17 years old. I had done tons of therapies with her, lots of supplements, ... I have never had results like this. And what I've seen my daughter do over the last 7 years is develop into her best self. And so I'll just share one of the many, many stories that my daughter, we started the end of November. And in December, she came home from school and said that Santa Claus had come to the pep rally. My heart sank. I am a helicopter mom. I'm going to protect my child from having a meltdown, all of that. And she looks at me and she says, "Mom, I didn't feel like running." And I just went, okay, that's weird. The next night we were at Special Olympics Christmas party, and she's dancing on the floor because that's her love. And Santa Claus comes out on the floor, and my heart sank. And I held on to my chair to let her react and not try to be that helicopter mom, because I was working on it. And what happened next, I blew my mind. Santa Claus came out on the floor. She stopped, and he danced for 3 songs, and she just stared at him like this, up and down, up and down. He left the dance floor, and she started dancing again. That may not seem like a big deal to you guys, but when you see your child being able to flow with life, it is amazing. I've watched her quit stuttering. I've watched her be able to communicate her thoughts and ideas. I've watched her grow and develop into her best self. And so anyway, I'm just thrilled that this journey, we got to get on it, and we got on it early enough that we could make a huge difference. So thank you for letting me share. And you guys, if you have any questions, please reach out, because there's a bunch more stories there.
you, Eileen. So good to see you. And I've met Nicole, and I've just seen her blossom these years that we've been together. So my name is Lilian Merida. I'm in Florida, and our story, like Eileen said, is like, which story, which story to pick. But in 2013, my husband was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, very weird. And he was literally, when Eileen said the word puppet, it was like, he was like a lifeless puppet, like just laying there in bed, no strength. I became caregiver 24/7. And my husband's nickname is Mr. Fix-It. So he is a mechanical engineer working. He loves to work, loves the tools, fixes the cars, fixes the lawnmower, fixes Miguel. This broke down, that broke down, the other thing broke down, and he just fixes everything. I don't know how he does it. But so my biggest fear when he was diagnosed and couldn't do anything for himself was that he was going to go into major just depression. And thank God, like Kim said, I also had an angel come and talk about these products, and we got started right away. I have a 4-year degree in biology, and I was just like, if this does half of what it does, like everybody needs this. I saw it immediately, and I even wanted him to start taking it while he was still in the hospital, and he wouldn't. So when he came home 8 days later, I was like, open your mouth, like we're putting this stuff in you like right now. And I'm so glad we did. I really think this is what pulled us through his long recovery. It was 6 months before he could start walking with a walker. And for someone who is Mr. Fix-It to not be able to do anything and keep up his spirits and having energy to do the exercises and do the rehab and just keep his spirits up, it's so important. So these products, like Barbara said, they're life-saving. They really are. And that's why we share. And that's why we get so emotional, because everybody needs to know about this, because you don't know what people are going through. And it's just become a calling for all of us. And I'm so blessed to have all of you in my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Lillian. Melanie?
Yes, I'm sorry, folks. I set my alarm for the wrong time. Speaking of Mr. Fix-It around here, my Mr. Fix-It is still out for the count. So I'm all things right now. And keeping things straight is a little crazy. You guys, I'm Melanie Robbins. I'm from Anthem, Arizona. And when I was first introduced to these products, it was life-changing for me. I had a diagnosis and I wasn't getting better. Nothing else was working for me. So I tried this. And then once it started working for me, I'm like, I need to be a part of this. I need to be a distributor for this. Everybody needs to know about it. Then I got my kit, and in my kit, I had Axio. You guys, I had a disease that caused brain fog on its own, and the medications that I was on caused tremendous brain fog, depression, fatigue, everything. So these drinks, these Axio really changed everything. And my story is so long and so amazing. If you want to learn more, but I'm going to narrow it down today, you just reach out to the person that invited you, and I'm happy to share. You guys, as Lillian describes Mr. Fix-It, it was July a year ago, coming up on a year. I had to rush my husband to the emergency room. They sent him home, and that nearly killed him. I had to have him go back via ambulance on July 11th. And in the early morning hours of July 12th, they put him on a ventilator. The devastation, the trauma, the not being able to believe my circumstances. You guys, knowing my story, I was like, I felt like immediately I need medication. Somebody's got to help me because I don't even know what to do. But if you know my background and my story and what medications have done to me, you would understand my hesitation to get on them. And so I had two things. I had my Bible and my God's promises to me that things would be okay. But I leaned on Axio like I never had. I would at times drink decaf Axio in the morning, and then I don't even know how I heard to drink. I'm a diehard dragon fruit fan, but I couldn't drink that in the afternoon. I was so frazzled. I just couldn't. So somebody had mentioned, I don't even remember how I learned to do this, but I drank the raspberry Axio. So I would drink a caffeinated in the morning and a decaffeinated in the afternoon. And then on days when I just couldn't even handle caffeine, I did the red raspberry Axio. You guys, I didn't have to take medications. It helped me. I wrote down so I could remember. It helped me breathe. It helped me calm down. It helped me. I am a mom of 2 girls that are home with me. I had no choice. I couldn't check out. Although it sounded pretty good to just get in my car and keep going. But honest to Pete, I just don't know what I would do without these products for one, and for Axio for 2. Life is still hard around here, and there isn't a day that any of us in our household go without Axio. So again, I apologize for being late, but thank you for having me speak, Vivian.
Thank you, Melanie, for jumping in. It's okay. The main thing, you're here and you're able to share your journey. And for everyone, Elle, Soraya, Melanie, David, Kim, Barbara, Lillian, I am so grateful for you guys, ladies, sorry, and guys, and guy, one sexy guy, to share, your mental health wellness journey. As you can tell, it's not an easy journey for most of us. We're still going through the journey, and of course, there's we know people around us near and far that is going through the same journey with us. But the main thing is we are in the right company. We have the products that is helping us with our journey, and so stay strong, believe in ourselves, and because we are surrounded with love. And with that, I'm going to invite part of the this mental health wellness journey. There's always the product side, where we share our journeys with each other, and there's also the business side. So I would like to invite my other sexy man, besides David, to share the business side of Life Vantage.
Thanks, Viv. Wow, we had this call some time ago, and I already fumbled even doing the presentation because I was really moved by all the stories. It's really moving. And I'm going to really keep it super simple, super short. And I may sort of go to the slides a lot quicker because Viv, I don't know how we are with time, because I am mindful of time as well. So maybe we can squeeze it in 10 minutes. Really powerful stuff. So I'm going to do a quick slideshow, and I'm going to see if you can see that. Eileen, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see that? Cool. Okay, awesome. So let's just get that going. How do you feel better from the inside out? Now, we're going to dive down the products, and we're going to have lots of fun with it. And yeah, I'm really just taken back right now. It's kind of weird. Okay, we're not here to prevent or mitigate or cure anything. We're just sharing what people have complimented, what they've been doing with their health right now. So I always like to look at the 2 core fundamentals. Now, energy is the one thing. If you're living on coffee and all these energy drinks, like David had mentioned as well, maybe that's not the best way to get your energy from your cells. So I'm going to talk about that there. I'm going to talk about something called oxidative stress. Now, oxidative stress sometimes is a big word. Think of those things called free radicals. They basically attack and damage cells. So think of yourself as an apple, and you're a healthy cell. You put the apple on the counter, and over time, that apple gets attacked by free radicals, and it damages the apple. And over time, it gets worse and worse. And now we possibly have some health challenge because now we've got oxidative stress, which is essentially free radical damage over time and distance. Pretty simple, right? And that's what oxidative stress feels like. And a lot of you guys have been alluded to it today as well. And if we want to try to be one of those people there with lots of energy, that's what Kim is, right? Remember Kim was saying she couldn't get out of bed, struggled a lot. Kim is like an energizer bunny, like she mentioned, right? So what is energy in the mitochondria? I like to explain it so simply. if you're struggling to get out of bed, maybe your mitochondria is not where it needs to be, like a battery. I use the example of my dad. When I was younger, he had all this energy. And as he got older, his battery started getting less and less and less. Really, his mitochondria started diminishing. And this is what happens naturally in our body. So if you can see the very last one there, your mitochondria, you've got none in your body, well, guess what happens? You're pretty much not going to be around. So you want to make sure your mitochondria are nice and fully charged, like Kim. She's got to energize the body, right? So that's where her mitochondria is improved. Then oxidative stress. Anything in the environment, or let's put this way, what you eat, drink, or breathe, whether it's organic or not, it causes oxidative stress. Just make sure that you select the best quality food and always do that. If you exercise too much, again, if you look at somebody who's a long distance runner and he's been running or she's been running for 20, 30 years, they get very small and frail because they're oxidizing quicker. They're rusting quicker than anybody else, right? So too much exercise can be a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. One thing as well, environmental toxins, they're around. We can't change that. And it affects our cells and affects our body. This conversation we would not be having 200 years ago because oxidative stress is essentially a man-made issue. So it's all of our own fault while we're here, right? That's essentially what it is. We need to find a way how to slow this down. And Wi-Fi as well. We all having an oxidative stress state right now. We're on Wi-Fi. That's what's happening. You cannot get away from it. This is our lifestyle, right? So I like to explain oxidative stress very simply. Good old Pac-Man. Now I'm revealing my age. I'm only 47, but I look like I'm 27, and I've got the energy of a 27-year-old. Pac-Man runs around and eats those pellets. Ding, 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 ding. And then when he comes along and he eats a big pellet, he finds 4 of those dudes and goes crazy and looks at them and chews them up. The problem is, there's too many of those guys. And I call those ones that are blue, is the free radicals, and Pac-Man is the antioxidant. So Pac-Man is overworked and underpaid, and what's happening, we start aging a lot quicker and possibly have these health challenges come along. So for me, I like to look at the science behind it. So you can jump onto a website called pubmed.gov, and you can see a huge amount of studies on oxidative stress. There's actually 33 million medical citations on this website. So it's not you go upload your information like on a blog, what have you. This is peer-reviewed science on there. So get anything onto PubMed is a huge deal. And you can see there's a whole lot of health challenges possibly linked to oxidative stress and free radical damage. Now, my story, I used to have loss of pigmentation of the skin, which I do slightly have at the moment. Like Michael Jackson, he was black going white. I was white going whiter. So the same challenge. I've been introducing these products, what I'm doing, and I'm getting amazing results as well. So this definitely starts helping people on all different levels. I actually help many people reverse the symptoms of autoimmune challenges. That's what I do. So when I saw this, I jumped onto PubMed because I love the science, typed in oxidative stress, and I found about 260,000 studies. There's actually more now. These slides are slightly older. So what I did, and what I encourage everybody to do, type in oxidative stress and your health challenge, and you may see those numbers go smaller. So you start joining the dots. So when you start doing that, type in the condition in. I encourage you to do that. It's really, really cool. And somebody, if you could just mute, it'd be really great. What does oxidative stress feel like? You can look at that straight away. Bad mood, brain fog. I know Melanie spoke about brain fog as well there, lack of motivation, fatigue. And the other one I also don't usually put in that slide there is lack of libido, something we all want, but nobody talks about. That is oxidative stress. And in a nutshell, that is pretty much everybody I speak to, you speak to, and everybody around you in your family has this condition going on, or let's say challenge this oxidative stress. Now, how do we combat oxidative stress? It's something called NRF2. The easy way I like to explain it, think of baking soda, makes things from acid to more alkaline. Think of NRF2, reducing oxidative stress, same concept. You can have the most amazing fruits, vegetables, vitamins, nuts, and seeds, all that amazing stuff, but you're still not going to combat the damage, what free radical damage does. So NRF2, in a little easy way to explain, we're going to go back to Pac-Man, okay? Little Pac-Man, he or she is doing his thing. But now what happens, what NRF2 does, it gets your body to make its own antioxidants, switches it on. Like you walk in the room, the light's off, you put it on, activate it. What it does, helps your body to make more Pac-Man or more Pac-Woman to combat the free radical damage. Pretty simple. That's the most basic way what NRF2 does, and it's basically within the body. It's kind of cool when you dive into this, and there's lots of science behind it. I jumped into PubMed, typed in NRF2, and I found nearly 20,000 studies. It's like, hold on, this is kind of cool. So you're saying NRF2 reduces oxidative stress, and all these studies are. So I went to put in NRF2 at my health challenge, and I found some studies and it went down to a whole lot less. So I started joining the dots. Again, play around with this website. It's really neat. And you can definitely see if there's a link between your health challenge there. So then someone said to me, NRF2 activation is basically one of these massive breakthroughs in history of medicine. And I'm from South Africa. I don't really believe anything I see. I'm always checking in the background. So I go down and I actually went onto the study and I was blown away that I found. But again, this is where I was introduced to Protandim NRF2 synergizer. And I always love that very, very first line. It lowers oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days. Now, the FDA allows us to say that, and the TGA in Australia allows us to say it as well. I can't say it lowers the oxidative stress, or say I can't say it lowers the symptoms of your health challenge by 40% in 30 days. That's a huge comment. So what it also does, it increases superoxide dismutase, catalase, and glutathione. Those three things, there's no test at the end, but essentially what they are is basically those are your body's antioxidants that makes them within. So it doesn't have those in the tub. It actually gets your body to make its own. Now you can look at the ingredients in the bottom there, get back to the person who basically shared this with you. Essentially, those ingredients together are amazing. They actually work 18 times better than them on their own. So it's called a synergizer, hence the name. And they've actually patented the formula and the method. You can't patent herbs, it's natural. So it's kind of cool. So it's a method and the formula what they've done. I dive down glutathione, read the very, very last line there. It's the one the body relies on to clean up critical toxins. If you go dive on PubMed, you can actually research that glutathione is actually the guardian of all your tissues, like the guardians of the galaxy. They're protecting the galaxy. That's what glutathione does. Now, if you look at the lines there, which one is it? Improves mental focus and clarity. And I think Melanie also mentioned that her sleep is a lot better. Another thing there. So these are things what glutathione can do. Now, we're not saying we're curing anything, but we're saying the Protandim actually gets your body to make its own glutathione. It's kind of neat. So let's compare dietary antioxidants versus your body making its own. Now, let's be honest. I love broccoli, but not that much. I love blueberries, but if I have so many, I think I'd turn into Papa Smurf. I'd go blue. Now, they only work 1-to-1, right? But that worked really well 200-300 years ago. The problem is today, we overloaded with too many free radicals. So with Protandim, what blew me away is that here it works on a 1-to-1 million per second in every single cell. So think of when, let's say somebody wants to grow some grass, they take the seeds and they just throw it on there, they throw it on the ground and hopefully they take. That's what I like to think of what supplements are. Think of NRF2 Protandim is like a magnet. You throw it and it'll go where it needs to go. So actually it's targeted. So I like to call it targeted nutrition. So what they've done is that they took a group of people from age 20 to age 80. And as you age, you can see the red line. Without Protandim, your body now gets oxidative stress. That's what happens. So after about 30 days, they eventually just took people's blood work and they tested them after 30 days. And they found that they couldn't differentiate the blood work between a 20-year-old and an 80-year-old. Now, it doesn't mean after 30 days, you're going to look like a 20-year-old if you're 80. We're just talking about the inside, right? This would be a miracle thing if we could do that. So essentially, how the whole thing started. Now, Dr. Joe McCord, he's an award-winning scientist. He basically was studying superoxide dismutase, which is one of the free radicals, one of the antioxidants in what Protandim actually does. He spent most of his career doing that. And he's a scientist. I like to call them lab rats. And he's won awards on the same level as Alexander Graham Bell and the Wright brothers. So he's quite well known up there. So he had discovered this NRF2 yellow pill, as we call it, yellow activator. And there's a journalist here, his name is John from the ABC Primetime Investigation Report. And what he did, heard about this, went to his lab, checked it out, and he goes, wow, this is kind of cool. So they recorded the whole lot. And Dr. Joe says, John, take this pill, come back in 30 days, and we're going to see what your levels of oxidative stress in your blood. So John was quite excited, felt some benefits, but he came back in 2 weeks. They tested his levels of oxidative stress in his blood, and it declined a lot. So now this is aired on telly, and everybody wanted it. So sales shot up and then straight back down again because people didn't understand what it did. Because your red cells basically replicate every 120 days. So you need to be on it for longer to start to feel more and more better. So they eventually realized, well, these online sales aren't working. Let's go stick it in GNC food store. So that's what they did. But again, they stuck it, let's say, next to a bottle of vitamin C. And you got Protandim there, and really Protandim's $50 and vitamin C is $10. Well, I'm going to take vitamin C. No one understood it. Sales again did not go well. Someone came along and decided to put a direct selling system model, which is network marketing. Now, for me, I don't really fuss how they deliver the product. I want to know what the product does. When I saw that, I became talky talk, as everybody calls me, because I chitter-chatted to everybody about this. This company is registered on the NASDAQ. You can go do the research. It's publicly traded. It's all there. They're an open book. Go and look at it. I really encourage you to do that. Now, again, I like to look at things a little bit on a deeper level. Jumped onto PubMed and I found 28 peer-reviewed studies on this product. I can't find anything that says vitamin C from ABC company. This blew me away. And then all these studies, and you can get hold of them and get back to person biology. And these studies were not funded by the company. They did them on their own, all these universities. It's pretty powerful stuff. Go into PubMed, you find 28 studies. There it is. What does Protandim do? It's NRF2, reduces oxidative stress. And oxidative stress may be linked to your health challenge. It's kind of cool. And for me, this is where one of the big things, and you guys in America, I love you guys. Everything's big cars, big houses, big everything. You put everything on TV. Dr. Phil, he's got less hair than me. I'm a little bit better looking than him. So I looked at all these things. And then I found they got these patents. Now, I dived down the websites and looked at the patents. There were 6 or 7 of them. The first 6 basically says it reduces inflammation and oxidative stress in a mammal. Now, for Lillian, she works a lot with animals and Vivian. So if you've got 4 legs, 2 legs, and you can breathe, you pretty much can take this. And I like to say to people, if you have a shadow, you have oxidative stress. Very simple. Everybody needs to be on it. But the one patent I looked at reduces CRP. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's fine. It's basically C-reactive protein. What essentially that is, it's an inflammation marker in your bloods. Now, the clients that I work with, that's one of the 5 inflammation markers I'm always looking at. When I saw that these guys can say to me, this can reduce CRP, it's like, boom, I'm in. Because CRP is inflammation, right? And everybody knows about inflammation. How does NRF2 actually work in the cells? I actually should call that a mammal cell, because that relates to dogs as well. There's a nucleus. Now that is the lady of the house, the boss of the house. Essentially, you need to give her food and oxygen to give energy to make decisions. That's what it is. But what happens when you eat any food, what's going to happen? You are essentially going to produce some free radicals. This is naturally what happens in the body. Then that actually causes inflammation and sits in the cell walls. Now, this is where NRF2 comes in, which is so cool. This NRF2 is a natural protein in the body. Now, I like to say NRF2 is like your kids. They always want you. They're demanding. They bang on the door. You're the nucleus. You're the lady of the house. Now, because NRF2 says, hey, we've got some inflammation in the house. We've got some free radical damage. We need now to produce some antioxidants. This is a natural process in the body. But what happens, there's way too many free radical damage in the environment. See the balance? We're out of balance. Now, this is where Protandim comes in. Basically, gets the kid and upregulates the kid and says, hey, bangs on the door, says, hey, mom, there's too much free radical damage in the house, too much inflammation. Let's produce some more antioxidants. That is what Protandim NRF2 does. Very, very simply. Now, remember, this is something it's telling your body to make its own antioxidants. If that's the only thing you remember today, that's all you need to know. It's getting your body to make its own. But remember, we also spoke about mitochondria early on. Now, every single cell has mitochondria. And essentially, they've got another product called NRF1. And what that does, the very top line there, it increases cellular energy. Now, remember Melanie saying something as well. Axia, brilliant. Works with the brain food. But here, this is working, giving you energy from the center of your cells. Got cardiovascular issues, there's brain health. You can see that all complements them all together. Because remember, we spoke about stacking. So definitely, we can go through so many other products, but I'm just touching on a couple of them. In summary, NRF2 basically cleans up the dirt and gets your body to make its own antioxidants. That's it. Pretty simple and basically reduce free radical damage. NRF1, that's giving you the energy you need. Alongside of the Axia, you can take that as well, and it's going to complement it. So that there is giving your energy in your batteries of your body. It wakes them up. It's kind of neat. So when you look at it, your mental wellness investment, what I like to say, do you want a skateboard, a bicycle, or a Porsche? Choose which one you choose. Either way, you're still going to get there. One might just take a little bit longer. That's the numbers in terms of the costs in the USA. Again, I say to people, choose which one suits you and your budget. Don't take the most amazing one because that's the best thing to do. We don't want to stress you out financially because that doesn't make sense. Okay. There are other products as well. We've just basically looked at a couple of them, and essentially we've only touched on basically 3 of them. There's a whole lot more. You see the Axia there that Dave mentioned about and Melanie mentioned about as well there, that there's your brain food. And also I think Soraya mentioned as well. And I say to people, they've got a skin cream as well, so which has also got NRF2 in it. So think about this. We're giving you Protandim to give you the NRF2 protection on the inside, or let's put you in that sexy bubble of NRF2 on the outside, get on the skin cream. And eventually when your shampoo runs out, well, you're going to have to maybe try this because you want to put NRF2 on your head. You see where I'm going with it? Put it on your head, put it inside, put it outside, put it everywhere. And there's all these other products as well. And there's a couple more that aren't listed here, but get back to the person who basically referred you here. Essentially, look at the very, very third line. Improves mental focus and concentration, boosts mental and physical energy. Isn't this what we're talking about today? Isn't this what everybody's been saying out here, that they've had these health challenges? This is gold. This. I am known as talky talk. I talk to anybody. If they can walk, talk, and breathe, they need to know about this. Nobody knows about this here. From a business perspective, you can either want to jump on and actually share this to other people. And yes, you earn some extra money on the side and maybe get your products paid for. I'm not going to go into that today, but this is what I like to say. You've enjoyed my funny, crazy accent. You want to know more? Get back to the person who invited you here. And like I want to say, you got to try to feel it. Because when you feel it, you become a talky talk and everybody around you is going to see the benefits you're getting and go, what are you taking? What are you on? I don't want some of that. And that's essentially what's happened. I've led this business by essentially just helping people and just being in the background supporting them. And it actually ended up turning into a business and it just blew me away. It just organically happened. And I love what I do. And it's these stories you guys have shared has really, really moved me. And I really want to thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I'll talky talk, but I'm going to hand it back to you. Thanks, Vivian.
Thank you, Phil, for as usual sharing us, in detail about the products and also about the business side, and the possibility of of NRF2 is endless, and it we need to take care of ourselves inside and outside. So with the products from LifeVantage, we are covered from head to toe. So get back to the person. I can see the smile on Lillian. She's like, this Vivian is always creating something. So get back to the person that invited you on this call. And we are doing this friends and family meetup every month at the end of the last Thursday of every month. And next month we'll be covering, in honor of Mother's Day, we'll be covering women's health wellness. I'm gonna stop the recording right now because I have the power to stop the recording. And